expansion, trying to take their lands away from them. So life changed significantly in both parts of Wales, but the Welsh retained their identity in some areas and had that identity taken away in others.
These are very hard times, no doubt about that. But it's not all negative. A big world has come to Wales with new ideas, new ways of building, new ways of creating wealth. And here we have a key theme in our story. The big influence from outside is crucial to us. The population grows as the Welsh Marches are colonised by the Normans and their English subjects. And the Normans encourage other foreigners to settle in the south. Wales is becoming cosmopolitan.
I think before the Normans came, Wales was still part of a Celtic world focused around the Irish Sea in terms of its religion, its family connections, its economy. But after the Normans came and started to settle Wales, those horizons changed. They were looking much further afield, and Welsh princes started to wish to be European princes.
And in the 12th century, that is exactly what they become. There is one young leader in the kingdom of Deheubarth here in southwest Wales in the 12th century who knows full well that the only way to survive in the battle with the Normans is to be cunning, to adopt new ways. The Lord Rhys is a young nobleman, a teenager who wants to play the Normans at their own game by using armour and cavalry and building 7 stone castles right across South Wales. Dynevor Castle will become the nerve centre for his powerful dynasty. The Lord Rhys starts young. Orphaned at 14, he creates havoc for the Anglo-Norman king, Henry II. Henry is a busy king. He has his hands full, wresting back control from barons who threaten his position in Ireland. In Wales, over a period of 26 years, Lord Rhys stirs up rebellions, raids land, burns enemy castles, and claws back power from the Marcher lords. Hostages are continually taken on both sides. I suppose we can say that here's a leader who makes Henry II and the Norman barons sit up and take notice of Wales. Lord Rhys's years of onslaught proved too much for Henry, who's busy dealing with Ireland. He hasn't time to deal with this troublesome Welsh leader. So he decides to give ground. Henry decides to let Rhys keep some of those conquered lands, and he frees his hostage son. In return, and this is the crucial part, Rhys acknowledges Henry as his overlord. And the result is that the Lord Rhys transforms himself, if you like, from troublesome rebel to honourable ally. He is even appointed Justice of South Wales. That really is a position of responsibility. And by 1171, the Lord Rhys is acknowledged as supreme ruler of South and West Wales. While much of Wales is still divided, Lord Rhys is its most successful leader, his power recognised by Welsh and English alike. Now he takes command of castles that will secure his borders. They stretch across his kingdom from Dynevor to Cardigan. 13th century Deheubarth glitters with Lord Rhys's lime-washed castles. Aside from his success with the Normans, Lord Rhys is known for 2 other reasons. Firstly, as a philanderer, he has 9 sons and 8 daughters, even fathering illegitimate children by his own niece. And secondly, for starting a revival of Welsh culture. In 1176 at Cardigan, he hosts a major festival based on French traditions. It's considered to be Wales's first Eisteddfod. Well, with an impressive network of these castles and generous sponsorship of poetry and music, Lord Rhys is responsible for a real blossoming
of Welsh culture. It stands proudly in that European tradition. But the most enduring legacy of that revival is to put Wales into the greatest European club of them all.
These are the remains of Strata Florida, one of the most important abbeys in Wales. It lies in a rural and isolated spot in the heart of Ceredigion. In the 12th century, it is run by an order of monks from Burgundy in France. They're known as the Cistercians. Famed for their white robes, hard work and simple life, they are the latest must-have for any medieval king. Janet Burton is a historian who can tell me why the Lord Rhys became the abbey's main patron.
First and foremost, rulers like the Lord Rhys wanted to have their own community of monks to pray for them. It was a violent age. They were aware that they might need that bit of help, you know, on the stake to salvation, and that was what he wanted from a community of monks.
But there are other benefits for Welsh leaders. The Cistercians are Wales's first international order of monks, well connected across the continent from France and Spain to Eastern Europe.
Strata Florida is taken over by Rhys at a time when his power is on the increase. He's very much trying to fulfill territorial ambitions. This is about his prestige, his power, his authority. And in backing the Cistercian monks, he's really putting himself on an equal footing with other European rulers.
Over the next century, Welsh rulers establish 14 Cistercian monasteries. And because Cistercian abbots visit France every year, there's a constant exchange of ideas with this well-connected European club.
And this place itself, not just a centre of prayer, but actually a bit of an industrial centre too.
Yes, everything that would have surrounded the monastery within the precinct would have been geared up towards economic activities, workshops, wool sheds, keeping of horses, cows, arable farming, fishing, a tremendous range of economic activity.
It was big business.
It was big business, yes. In fact, the writer Gerald of Wales in the late 12th century remarked of the Cistercians that if you give them a wilderness and go away for a year and come back, they will have transformed it, transformed the wilderness into what he called a smiling plenty. So it was an economic transformation of the area.
The Welsh Cistercians have ready cash, they're farmers, traders and merchants, and they make the land prosper. Strata Florida grows to 80,000 acres, Wales's largest monastic estate, and the jewel in its medieval crown.
What we have at Strata Florida is a vibrant community. Yes, it's a house of prayer, but it's much more than that. It's a major centre of Welsh learning and culture. And we have to see Strata Florida in a much wider context. Not Welsh, not British, but European. And when you see this glorious archway, you have the clearest evidence of the European influence in medieval Wales.
The Cistercians aren't just a boon to the status and economy of Wales, they also help cement the growing sense of a Welsh identity. Because the monks are literate. On animal skins, they write down Welsh poems, document daily life, and record our history.
The work rate is astonishing. The monks fill entire libraries with their books. This is the site of the library at Strata Florida. It was packed with volumes made of goatskin, priceless records of Welsh life.
Their most important achievement is Brit y Tywysogion, the Chronicle of the Princes. This is a tale of Welsh history that starts in 682 and spans 6 centuries. It tells of eclipses of the sun, of plagues and earthquakes, and it records royal births and royal deaths.
Before all this, Much of the story of our past is preserved in popular memory or in some decaying documents. But now, for the first time, thanks to the Cistercians, we have a proper written history preserved for the people. In effect, it's our first national archive.
The Cistercians are part of the fabric of Welsh life, and they consolidate Welsh culture and history, making it real and tangible. Medieval Wales has its own language, its own laws, and now a preserved history with a growing sense of its cultural heritage. But any sense of a Welsh nation doesn't exist. And by the 12th century, the Welsh have witnessed the violent reigns of more than 100 kings.
As time passes, the title of king, or rex in Latin, becomes a little devalued. There have been so many kings, and leaders prefer the title of prince, based on the Latin for principal ruler. And it's in the 13th century that this notion of uniting Wales under one leader starts to gather force. That leader will be called Prince